Hi, guys. Welcome to Party Time Texas podcast and Keep Hope Alive podcast. I'm so excited to be talking to you. It is October 1st today, and we have Christmas because you know why we have Christmas here? Because it's right around the corner, and we all know how fast time flies. So it's like with the blink of an eye, right? It's going to be Christmas. But we got to get through the whole Halloween and Thanksgiving. But as far as planning parties, we have a special guest today. It's Mrs. Claus. And Mrs. Claus has a high energy spirit, and she is going to share so much with us. But I'm going to tell you today's episode, it's being sponsored by Life on Record. And with Life on Record, they offer a wedding guest book that provides a fun and interactive experience for your guest. With the Life on Record telephone guest book service, your guests can call in on their very own cell phone before, during, and after the wedding, or use a distinctive vintage rotary phone. All recordings go through a noise cancellation, speech enhancement process, and you can make it more interactive with their QR codes and keepsake speaker, or you could put it on a 12-inch vinyl record. It's pretty cool. So plans only start at $99 and include that toll-free dial-in number for a full year. So you can learn more about it on lifeonrecord.com. So today, like I said, we got Mrs. Claus here, and she's wonderful. She doesn't have Santa with her, but it's because I want to interview the best person there is right now. And we're getting ready for the holiday season, and there's so much to do. And when I was talking to you about interviewing you and everything, you told me something about going to school, and I never knew about this school. So I'm going to have you enlighten our listeners and tell us about you and what school is like, and then we'll go from there.
Oh, thank you so much, Nadine, for having me on. I'm so excited to be here. And I think that you talk a lot about happiness, and that is completely Mrs. Claus's vibe as well. So thank you for having me here. Yes, actually, let's go back about a year ago. I decided that I was actually going to try to achieve one of my lifetime goals, and that was to become Mrs. Claus. And so I started first on the internet. I did a deep dive, and I found out that this is a little known fact. You're not the only one who did not know this. I found out that there were Christmas schools all over the country. Some of them are called Santa schools, some of them are called Claus Community schools, but lots of different options. When you want to become a holiday performer, you can go get educated. So
Wow.
while I was on the internet, I found an organization called the International Brotherhood of Real Bearded Santas, and they were having a contest. I do not have a
I
beard,
know
but
you don't have a beard.
they were having a contest to actually send a few people to a Christmas school of their choosing.
Uh-huh.
Now, because I really wanted to focus on females, I wanted to focus on being Mrs. Claus. I picked a school after I won called Santa Nana's Holiday University. And I packed my bags, flew across the country to Medina, Ohio, and spent 3 of the most wonderful days of my life learning all about Christmas and Santa and how to portray Mrs. Claus. It was a joyful time. I actually brought a picture. I don't know if it'll pick up on here, but let me try to show you this. Let's get it just right. Okay, this
Yeah.
is me.
Okay.
That is me going down the slide from A Christmas Story, because they have a wonderful museum in Medina, Ohio called Castle Noel. And I got to slide down there, arms up in the air, just one of the most joyful moments of my life. So I attended school. And they taught us everything there about portraying a member of the clauses, but also just things, practical things that we would need to know, like about the history of women in Christmas. We focused on that. We focused on hygiene. We focused on physical parts of portraying Mrs. Claus. So met some wonderful people. And I will say that now I have Claus mentors all over the country. And I am planning on attending my second Christmas school in February because Mrs. Claus is very big on education and keeping, learning everything you can when you want to do something. So that was my experience with the Christmas schools, milk and cookie happy hours. There's all types of things. I know.
What kind of
It was
cookies? What kind of cookies? Is it snickerdoodles and chocolate chip?
all of the cookies. Now, Mrs. Claus loves making sugar cookies. I love that. I love icing
Yeah.
them. I'm sure you have a bunch of favorite traditions you might do around the holidays. But one of the ones I have with my own kids is we make sugar cookies every year and we go around and look at Christmas lights. So
Oh,
that's always
yes.
fun. So I
Yes.
love, but I love thinking about traditions. What do you have any traditions in your own family that you love every year?
Yes, I do. And I kind of had my parents do this with me when I was younger. Of course, we always made the cookies. I remember it was chocolate chip and then snickerdoodle. We did do the sugar one, and she had a cutter. My mom, it was like a Christmas tree or a bell, and she put the green and red sprinkles on it. But I don't know why. My favorite cookie was chocolate with peanut butter chips in it. So it was kind of reverse. And oh my gosh, as a kid, I was bad. My mom would make them and put them in the little Tupperware, and I'd be like, my mom's like, where all the cookies go? And I'm like, I don't know. I have no idea. But then I wouldn't eat my dinner, and if it was Swiss steak or pork chops, and I would fill up on cookies because I knew I wasn't going to be eating it. But
Can blame you. I don't think anybody blames you for that. Mrs. Claus approves. We love cookies.
yes, and then even traditions like in movies. And I try to hold on to this tradition really much so like and my brother, like we used to watch uh on the 24th Christmas Vacation all the time, and it was like, and then it's become Elf and that, but he's married now, and things have changed, so it's not like I'm
Yeah.
over there. He has a different family to go to and everything, but with my son I keep that up. And then another tradition was the lights, like you said, of course, and going through Deerfield. But I am like I'm scared of Deerfield these days because I don't know. There's horse carriages out there and all the cars. It's beautiful, but it's all about timing too of when to go.
Yes.
Now, I know you can search different things. Like I used to live in Little Elm, and they had
Okay.
a little beachfront. So they do lights out there as well. So I think, just going around town, seeing what's out there. I haven't been to the Gaylord yet. I know there's an ice show. So I really got to get out there and see and maybe create some new traditions.
I
But
love what you're talking about with just the simple traditions, the things
yeah,
that you remember, the cookies and just simply driving around, looking at lights. And it doesn't have to be the most expensive or the fanciest. That's what's wonderful. I
yeah.
mean, ice is a great thing to go to in the Gaylord. I have seen that and it's spectacular, but
Oh, wow.
sometimes the things my kids will remember is just wrapping up a cardboard box and them putting one of their old toys in it and giving it to the other. So,
Yeah, we did that too. It was Christmas Eve. We were able to exchange, me and my brother did one gift. And I always prayed it was the better gift as of the next day, but I don't know if this was a tradition of mine. And this is going to be funny because I'm going to make my mom watch this episode. But I was a bad snooper. Like, I had to know I can't do things spontaneous, and I'm still like that. That's the planner in me. It's just like, even like today's day, if I try to go on a date, well, I'll decide last minute. And I'm like, no, I'll freeze up and be like, no, I can't do that. I just can't. I can't do spontaneous. But I would, as a kid, I would go to the attic or the closet or under the bed, try to find where my presents were. I think yeah. So with that being said, sometimes I did find some of my presents one year and I was so sad that I knew. So I stopped. But I
You did. You changed your ways.
did change my ways. I was just like, no, but it was fun to see like Christmas morning, my brother he would no, I don't know how it went. A couple of times he woke up before me, and then sometimes I would wake up before and say, hey, we gotta wake up and stuff. But as you get older, you're like, let me just sleep in. Like, no, I want to wait. We have all day. But it
Yeah,
changes as you get older. And but you
it
always
does.
for like doing this, you keep the spirit alive no matter what,
Yes.
and it's great. And as you get older, you like to see other kids so happy.
Yes.
Yeah.
I love that, and I think that I've always worked with children, in every job that I've had. I love being with children and I love Christmas. So for me, it was kind of the marriage of two things that I just really, really love,
Oh,
dearly. So
that's sweet.
it has been just a very, very joyful journey since the beginning. And this whole community that I guess I did not, Santa has helpers all over this country and all the countries that help him. And so meeting those people and having those people in my life has been a huge gift for me.
That is so cool. That is so cool. So I'm sure you get to go out many different places and, talk to kids. Is it like schools or?
Oh, yeah. So I'll kind of break it into two different categories because that's the way I think of it. I do your traditional events. So I might do some events that are like corporate events where I'll go speak to people in character as Mrs. Claus. I always, whether I'm doing a traditional or a formal event, or if I'm doing so I'll show you what I bring with me. Let me turn it around. It says Mrs. Claus.
Oh, that's cute.
Um, this is, I know, it's Mrs. Claus. So one of the things that I wanted to do as Mrs.
Mhm.
Claus was to give Mrs. Claus a voice. I wanted to really develop her. And
Mhm.
my Mrs. Claus character, she is very fun. She loves fashion. She loves children's fashion. She does love to bake, and she just loves bringing joy to people. So Mrs. Claus doesn't go anywhere without her red bag. And inside that bag, for most of her events, she will have, let's see, I have little cards that say, Mrs. Claus caught me being good. I'll give these out to
Oh,
children. I
good.
have some people I like to give options. Not everybody likes bracelets, but I do have a bracelet that says Mrs. Claus caught me being good. I have
Cool.
stickers because many children like to have the trinkets. I even have a simple little poker chip. So I'll go to events and I'll portray Mrs. Claus and pull things out of my bag. That's always a lot of fun. The other events that I do, I certainly go to libraries to do story time. I
Nice.
have a million. Here's what it's kind of funny with Zoom. I'm so sorry. The night before Christmas to more modern books, and love, love, love Christmas stories. Another big part of what I do is reading. Reading is huge. I think that reading opens doors. And so part of that is I love to perform at libraries and read books. And because my background is actually in theater, I love to take your traditional Christmas story and integrate movement. Like I'll give them bells to ring while we do it. Noise does not bother me. Activity does not bother me. We will be the reindeer instead of just hearing about them. So we have some
Oh,
active workshops. Let me look what else. Oh, gingerbread house judging, which is, of course, a very serious event, as you know. Let me show you. I found something cute yesterday, and I thought Nadine needs to see this, and everybody does. Let me find
okay.
it. This is cute. These are cute.
Oh
Um,
my gosh, they were adorable.
they're so precious. So these you can put on the rim of your hot chocolate, and they have their own little. And so this is something I have for events that I'm very
Okay.
excited about. But
Yay.
so if you're, I understand being a tired mom. So if you're too tired
Oh,
to make cookies with your kids, Mrs. Claus gets it. You can just buy those and put them on the rim of the cocoa when they look at lights. So
oh,
simplicity.
yeah.
I also do events like pajamas and pancakes. So maybe after a sleepover, I might
Yeah,
come
that would
talk
be
about
fun.
Christmas.
Yeah.
It's so fun. Even as an adult, I would love that. Formal tea times where I'll, get together with a group. We might make jewelry, talk about tea time etiquette. Mrs. Claus talks to whoever her clients are and finds
Yeah.
out kind of what they would like. Cocoa with Mrs. Claus. We see story hours, parade appearances. So that's the traditional or formal side of Mrs. Claus.
Gotcha.
But I know you seem like a really fun person, so I know that you
I think
probably want to.
so.
You are. So I know you want to hear about the fun part of Mrs. Claus.
Uh-huh.
Um, okay, so Mrs. Claus used to teach. Actually, I used to teach nature classes for kids. So I do an outdoor session, which is called Making Mud Pies with Mrs. Claus. And
Oh,
I wear my less formal Mrs. Claus outfit. We make Christmas soup with water and flower petals. We make mud pies. I hide little elves all over the woods that they can find in their buckets. So that's just a
that's
kind of
cool.
different creative experience for those preteens in your life. One of the things that I do is a Mrs. Claus's rock and dance party because Mrs.
Oh,
Claus loves to dance. I have lots of fun streamers and things like that that we wave in the air for freeze dance, glitter tattoos,
nice.
all types of fun things. So really, I try to adapt all of my offerings just to whoever has hired me for those events. Let's see if there's, Elf Academy. I cannot stop without talking about Elf Academy. That is a fun option that I can sometimes do when I do tea parties where we have a certificate and we may do, they will be honorary elves for the day, and they would go through challenges that elves would go through, and everybody walks away with a fun certificate and an elf name,
That's
of course.
cool.
So yeah, those are some of the fun. I think I've hit most of our fun, creative, but because of my theater background, I just love movement. I love watching kids play, and
Yeah.
that's kind of at the core of everything that I do. Authentic childhood experience and play. So
Well,
that is.
us adults, we're big children too. Like I do karaoke, but a lot of those events have been the ugly sweater or come in your PJs or whatever at the bar, which is so funny. I love it. I love it. So I got like at Walmart these cute pajamas. It's a onesie and it buttons up. I can't say what it says on the back, but it has little candy canes and gingerbread people on it. I love it. And it's just amazing that you can go. I think when I went, it's the first time going back to my hometown, but it was like I walked in there and I was like kind of nervous being in my jammies here, but it's okay. I'm gonna get through this. And I saw somebody sitting there like dressed as cousin Eddie, and I'm like, yeah, I'm good. I gotta sit by cousin Eddie.
Of
But
course you did.
yeah, yeah. So, but it's funny because I won't even call him by his real name. It is just cousin Eddie.
Cousin Eddie.
Yeah. But
That's
yeah,
wonderful.
so, but
I
yeah, when you're watching all the TV shows, I mean, I'm
Yes.
45, but back in when I was younger, which I was born in 78, I remember Rudolph would come on and Frosty the Snowman. And I would wait for those TV shows because really that was it. And if you think about it, wasn't it right about now they would play Wizard of Oz? I think.
Yes,
Right?
absolutely. That was something you're right. At my household, we would wait, for and though I have so many special memories of the different movies and like waiting for those to come on every year. And when you mentioned Rudolph, I just remember we were,
Yes.
oh my, so that was so special, all of those. And now things are a little bit different, they can stream everything and stuff, but
Okay, like let's talk about that because there was no streaming back in the day. I'm jingling as I
no.
talk. Um, but yeah, there was no streaming. Back then it was beta before VHS, and my uncle would tape like the Christmas classics on
Yes.
like the tape for beta, and then when it was VHS, of course, the VHS tape. But as soon as my uncle sent that to me and my brother, it was like heaven for us.
Exactly.
There was no
Exactly.
internet yet. There
No.
was nothing like Chip and Dale was it for
Yeah.
me. I had to
That was
be, I was like the cutest little chipmunks. And now, oh my gosh, I had to tell a story the other day. I felt so bad. I was like, yeah, I used to go to a cabin in Oklahoma, and I remember my mom let me drive, and it was the first time she trusted me to drive her car. And I accidentally hit a squirrel. And my brother was like, we're playing charades at night, and he's like, guess what I am? I was like, oh my gosh. But seeing Chip and Dale now is like the funniest thing is like, yeah, I like that still, but I could never get my kiddos to watch it because
no, not if you they just I know, but we loved that.
yeah,
We loved watching Chippendale all the time. We truly
yes.
did.
Yeah, and it's those memories. And then you've got the different stories for Christmas, like the
Yes.
Grinch is out becoming
Oh,
popular, and I know last year, my old boss, he dressed as the Grinch and went to school and he got to entertain them for a little bit and stuff. But
that is so funny. The Grinch is very, very popular, and,
yeah,
I understand kids like that story. I like that story
yes,
personally too, and I love that character, and, there are so many different Christmas performers around not
there
only
is.
the Dallas-Fort Worth area, but also around the country that are just being creative and, really diving into that character and the character of the Grinch, like, I think
Yeah.
kids are really drawn to, like, that kinda naughty side of him and change,
It's
there's a
like,
definite story.
yeah, and learning how to just overcome like what the Grinch
Yes.
had a hatred or something. And he was
Right.
able to get his heart back and see what the true meaning was. And in life, we need to do that with stuff in general. So, I mean, if
Absolutely. So I think you made me think of, there's a story series when I was younger that my mom always read to us, and it's not Christmas based, but it's Rotten Ralph. And it was this kind of also the same type of story. And this cat, he was very, very naughty, would do all types of things, but his owner loved him no matter what he did. He
yeah,
was always loved. And it was just a beautiful, but I think with, the story of the Grinch, also the same thing, and so kids love there are a lot I have, performed before with Grinches, and it makes it, oh, just so much fun. It's so much
yeah.
fun. I love that. I have he's kinda cute. I think he's very cute. I'll show you. I have to bring him on it. She's like, "You brought this on, Ellie, last week when you were
Oh,
talking to me." She doesn't get bored of it, so I don't think you guys would either. Let me bring him in the camera. So,
oh,
here
okay.
is let me try to get him
So
with
like
he show
disappear. Okay, there we go.
did he show up? Is he cute? Yes. So
Oh, that's cute.
this is Randolph, the
Rand.
red-nosed rain he's not red-nosed, actually, that's his cousin, Rudolph. But Randolph is a puppet which goes with me and performs with me, and he sometimes will wear a little biker jacket. He's got a little
Yeah.
bit of an edge, if that's the audience and that's what they want. Sometimes he'll be very, very sweet, but, sometimes so kids love, Randolph will talk to me and say things and then interact with the children as well, but they kinda like it when he's a little bit naughty, and they get to teach him how to be a good reindeer, and so that maybe someday Rudolph will if Rudolph gets sick, he can fill in, so Lots
Good,
of fun
good.
things, but I think there's something about the Grinch and Randolph and Rotten Ralph the cat that just make
That's
delightful,
cool.
delightful stories.
Yes, and I mean, really, the basics. Now, I was surprised. I can't believe I'm going to talk about this because it just happened this morning. I was coming out of my room, headed to the bathroom, and Elf was in a plant. I guess he's already there to watch my son and make sure he's behaving and keeping the room clean. But I was like, is it early or no? Like, but I
You know what?
think there's no set date. Elf can come any
It's
day.
not. And
Yeah.
that's what we always say. Each family has their own traditions, and sometimes elves, the family elf,
Yes.
decides to come out early. Like he may feel that there is a need to come out early,
Oh, I
keep an
know, I
eye on
know. Yeah.
things. So, oh, we love elves. It's, they are so much fun. And I know that the elf in our household growing up, he did all types of funny things. Is yours pretty funny too? Or is he kind
Yes.
of
Yes. We last year saw him in a drinking glass with a Hershey Kiss at the bottom. So yeah, that elf has like a lot of different things. But he's smart because we have dogs in the house, so he
Oh,
stays in high places. But
I will tell you, those dogs, those furry friends of ours can be very dangerous to elves. And
uh-oh.
I
Yeah.
have kind of a story about that
Okay.
my dog, Rocky Balboa, he is kind of a naughty dog and he got hold of the elf one time. So the elf came out the next day and had a full body cast on because
Oh
he
wow.
had to kind of stay still for a little bit and not move too much for those days while he was healing. But he's fine now. He
That's
slept on the
good.
Barbie couch. I mean, he recovered very nicely. So
Elf has better healthcare plans than
they,
most people. They get right away surgeries and everything.
they get immediate surgeries from Ken and Dr. Barbie. And yes, I know so much. I love that. I love all of these traditions so
Yeah.
much.
I mean,
So
even
true.
when I was younger, I feel like I'm going back in time. Even with Christmas, we always waited for, it felt like it took forever just to be Christmas. But imagination is what helps, and I give it to the 80s and 90s toys back in the day, from Rainbow Bright to Care Bears. I had little Coca-Cola bears that squeeze their hands and stuff. I would play with those. I remember this is so bad. I had a My Little Pony castle, but I went outside and collected all the roly-polies and brought them inside to have them stroll through on the my mom's like, why'd you bring bugs in here? I was like, are they bugs? Like, they need a castle. But yeah, so but like those toys, and what it was it, these two monkeys, the Manchi cheese or something. Do you
Yes, the
remember that?
Manchi cheese. Oh, we loved those. Yes.
Yes. And then I remember, even as I got a little bit older, it was, oh my gosh, I got my first telephone, but it was all robotic looking. You could see the inside, it would glow at
Inside.
night. And I was like, this is so cool. It's the best. And then my other friend got a Swatch watch phone, and I was so jealous. Do you remember those?
Yes. I do remember the Swatch watches. I absolutely do. I remember when we got it and they had a little Swatch guard on it to
Oh,
protect it
yeah.
because, oh, yes, the Swatch watches. Oh, I just loved growing up then. All of those things were so exciting.
Yes, they were. And then the places that we would go to, like for
Yes.
kids, well, Plano Thunderbird roller rink was it for,
Oh,
I
yes.
was growing up, and it was always like Friday or Saturday to go roller skating. But I did read, and I do want to go, but I'm starting to see some reels, and it's not from the place. Maybe it's different ones that opened up, but it's roller skating for adults.
Oh, really?
Yeah, with a
Well,
bar, and not a
that's
not a hand bar to hold on to like we're gonna fall, even though they should install one, but
they should
a bar.
talk
I would
about
skate faster.
those.
I'd be like, let's do scooter racing contest.
That
But
is fun. Roller skating is so much fun. I have so many great memories. I grew up kind of near the Naval Academy I was a military child, but
okay.
we had a wonderful ice skating rink there, and we would go every week and just ice skate around, and it did not hurt to fall the way it does
Really?
now.
That's what I was always scared of. I don't want to fall. So,
As an adult now, I think it would go much differently for me than when I was, more when I was younger, but yes.
yeah. So that would be kind of cool, like to have a skating party with Miss Claus though. Like she's
Oh,
out in
Mrs.
the middle of the
Claus.
yes.
Mrs. Claus loves going to any fun event. And the good thing, Santa has it's a pretty big job, as you
Yeah.
know. He has to sit in the chair, he has to talk to the children. He doesn't, when I say have to, he loves it. He loves to talk
I
to
know.
children and
Yeah.
connect with them. But Mrs. Claus, she has a little bit more freedom to go and she has so much fun. And one of the things too that sometimes helps when people have want to celebrate Santa's helpers and hire them. It's sometimes good to have a Mrs. Claus there because for some children, not for all, but for some, Santa can be very scary. We all have seen those funny Santa pictures where
Yeah.
the child is screaming, but for some children, it is very scary. So having Mrs. Claus there,
There to come.
sometimes I can be a little bit less intimidating. So it
Yeah.
gives that just extra layer before they talk to Santa of security. And I always keep, I brought out Randolph, but I have also just a sweet little squirrel puppet. I love puppets because I find that puppets, if a child is scared sometimes to talk to an adult,
Yeah.
sometimes talking to a puppet or having a puppet whisper to me and communicate with the child, it's a wonderful tool, a wonderful way
Oh,
to bridge that
yeah.
relationship. So, but Mrs. Claus in her off time loves to go to skating parties. She loves to go to any events. I have a fun one coming up in December, and I'll be putting together beads, and we'll be doing tea and talking about all different parts of Christmas. But the reason
I
I
think
love being
our
Mrs. Claus.
company, well, I think our company here already talked to you, right?
Yes, and I'm doing one with your company actually, which is just the most wonderful company, and I'm so thankful I found you and you found me. Um,
I
because
think I just overheard it and I'm like, yeah.
I'm gonna do a delightful event with your company soon, actually, and it's going to be going to an HOA. We often go to HOAs,
Yes, that's
and
good.
there'll be a Santa, and I read through it. I believe there's an elf who's going to be elves can do face paint. I don't do face paint because I don't. Mrs. Claus is artistic in other ways, but not.
Don't you have gloves and stuff? Yeah, you're
Yes,
pretty close.
yes. I don't want to get the gloves dirty, but sometimes I do glitter tattoos. If anybody has interest in
Wait
that,
a
that's
minute.
fun.
Paint, but you have glitter, huh? Let's weigh which one.
No,
Now, when
I
you're
think
making
Miss
cookies,
Claus
do you take them off?
Miss Claus will take hers off when she does cookies, but Miss Claus has many, many different outfits in
Yeah.
her wardrobe. So sometimes she will have a very formal outfit, and then other times
Yeah.
she has an apron, takes off her gloves, and gets down in there and makes those
Oh,
cookies. So
nice.
it is an
Nice.
assembly line function. But
Yeah.
yes, I love adding. I do add glitter because that's kind of what I see my character as, is adding sparkle to everything. A little bit of
Oh,
fun.
that
So,
is so cool. Yeah. And
yeah,
it makes the kids so happy. Like,
yes.
but from talking food wise, and when they're going out there and it's
Yes.
cold and they want their hot chocolate, I know
Yes.
that was another tradition. If you go to Deerfield, you have to have hot chocolate.
Yes, you do. Yes.
But you know what? I didn't know I was diabetic at the time. I'm not anymore, but yeah, I couldn't have it. I was like on block 2 and I'm like, I have to go to the bathroom. It's just like there was no choice, so
Yes.
uh,
Yes.
but yeah, so I'm glad I'm not diabetic anymore. That'd be another story another
No.
day. But
That's of course, yeah.
it's a
But
good
yeah, that's bringing that up though. It's excellent to remember that I think as a performer that every child is different. Every child has different needs and different parts of them. And
Yes.
so that's why
Yes.
I try to bring a lot of like non-edible options to my events and integrate those things because yes, we all love hot chocolate, but of course, we never want a child to feel left out because they cannot partake in whatever. So when we talk to clients, I always
Yeah.
try to just really get to the heart so that we can match with what each child, because we want each child to feel special. So,
Aw.
but I love hot chocolate personally.
Yes, and I know with fall festivals coming up, and then they have the Christmas festivals. I bet you're going out a lot for those and stuff. So,
Yes, and exactly. There's a lot of festivals. I have Miss Claus sisters all over the Dallas Fort Worth Metroplex in a couple weeks, and then one of them's going to go on a road trip with me. We're so excited. But what I was going to say is she's actually going to she's going to be performing at a festival near me, and so I'm going to go support her.
mhm,
And it really is a supportive community. I also have kind of a cause for a cause thing where I will go meet with nursing home residents and just talk about history, talk about those things. They can talk about their experience. So I love that. I have other, charity events that I do. So if anybody ever wants information on that, I love animals so dearly. Miss Cause loves animals. So anything where I can do an appearance that would support an animal shelter.
yeah.
I am the mother of rescue babies, so I try to integrate those events in
Yeah.
what that I do as well.
I'd be getting the doggies and putting the little antlers on.
So cute.
Doggy.
I love that. My daughters made dog bandanas for them when they were in the shelter, to help out with because
Yeah.
I love looking at there's nothing cuter than a dog in antlers, is there? Am
I
I right?
know, I know. I see that fluffy dog now in my head. That was the Grinch's dog, right?
The Grinch's dog. Oh, I
Yeah.
love the Grinch's dog.
So
So
cute.
cute.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then I like how pet stores will get ready for the doggy treats and decorate them too. And, they
So
make the
sweet.
stockings. And it's funny, my dogs, they have it already in their head. It's Christmas time. We're getting some kind of bone. Like they just know. So,
They see
but
the stockings go up and they know that something good has to be coming.
yes. Now, I know you said no singing. I'm not going to ask you to sing. Don't worry. But, what is your favorite song? Because you're Mrs. Claus. You got to have a favorite song.
Absolutely. I will say, I know this might be stereotypical, but I love Jingle Bells because I love that kids can I know all the Christmas songs and I do sing. I thought that I would treat everybody to me not singing today. But I will sing with children. I don't care the quality because children always make everything better and they jump right in and sing with me, especially if they have bells and things that they can use when we sing together. So I am old school. I do love Jingle Bells. It's probably the first Christmas carol that myself and many other children did learn. So
We need caroling back in
yes,
today's world. I mean, just
I
walk down. If we can go trick or treating and walk
am.
the blocks, why can't we just go in the street and just sing and walk down singing?
Well, you are absolutely right, and I'll tell you a story with that is when my family moved into our current home, this is many years ago,
Mhm.
we decided because my children were very young at the time, we decided that we were going to go caroling, and it wasn't like really that planned. We are not a singing family. We're not the Von Trapps or anything, but
Mhm.
we got some cookies together and we brought them around the neighborhood and we went and we rang all our new neighbors' doors and we started to sing and we met all of our neighbors that way. So it was actually it went lovely. Like I met people I probably would not have met and we gave them
Yeah.
each a cookie. My littlest was probably only 2 at the time, so she would say Merry Christmas and give it to them. But yes,
Aw.
I feel like I still remember that because it was such a simple spontaneous thing to do, go singing
Yes.
carols, even when you aren't the the best singer, it doesn't matter. And that's it with happiness and joy, just sing to bring joy to others. So
I know. And it's funny because sometimes I think I'm a good singer, sometimes I don't think I'm a good singer. But when I do go sing, I always sing I Want a Hippopotamus for Christmas. It was
yeah,
like
you
Gail
can't go
Phoebe.
wrong with that.
Yeah, and then I'll try Santa Baby. But yeah, it was so fun back in the day, being in a group of friends and sharing that. It was amazing.
Yes.
So
Oh, sorry about that.
no, it's all
Knocked
right.
over my gingerbread houses, which is only something that happens with Mrs. Claus.
Oh, okay.
But yes, bringing within a group of people and singing together, it's just such a great way to connect with others. So
It
it
is.
was a way for me to meet my neighbors that day.
We should have like something if you are going out and singing in the streets, do a video and put it on our TikTok or something. And so we want to see it. We want to, do that. And, if you have any questions for Mrs. Claus, you can always call in to 833-780-HOPE, which is 4673, I believe. So she will answer questions like how to be good and what time to go to bed and what do you need to clean in your room? Is it vacuuming? Is it dusting? What is going to make a good child from now all the way up to December? So, but anyways, I kind of wanted to go over. I think Mrs. Claus might be a little frozen right now. A good pun right now, but she'll come back. So I would like to thank our special sponsors that we have, which is going to be lifeonrecord.com, your interactive guest book. We also have Party Time.
Hopefully she'll pop.
Okay, I think we just got skipped over or something. I have no idea, but I'm hoping it will bind together. So I was kind of going over our sponsors. So Party Time Texas is another sponsor that we have, and you can find them at www.partytimetexas.com. They will have from DJs, bands, Mrs. Claus, Santa Claus, reindeers, snow slide. I saw that. I was like, oh my gosh, I want to just rent it out and I want to go down it. But, the doctors would love that. Nadine broke herself again or something. So, but yeah, you can ask for any help with any of your events through Party Time, and we will get those quotes for you, help it get booked, take that stress out. We have the Dallas bridal shows. And oh my gosh, they come up like 4 or 5 different ones throughout the year. You can go walk around, meet your different vendors that you would want for your event and get good educational information and get some of the good deals that they have to offer as well. We have Miles for Smiles. I hope I said that. Yeah, I said it right. She is wonderful. She does many, many things, but what she's known for is she is a fortune teller, psychic reader, investigator, lip reader, hand reader, and she does weddings now, and she can correspond different things. You got to just reach out to her. And I'm telling you, it's either good, like, hey, it works or it doesn't work. But when she came in, and our staff said she was accurate, which was amazing. My mouth dropped open. I was like, yeah, I would definitely go ahead and hire her. So she's one of our sponsors. And then we have Mr. Bryce Harney, who is Mr. Magic. He's a magician that does corporate events, even for big churches. He's traveling around the United States, going to different places and everything. But he's a mind reader and all that fun stuff. So those are our sponsors. And Mrs. Claus, I mean, come on, you're beautiful. You go so many places. You're so good with the kids. Mr. Claus, I mean, kudos to you. I mean, what does he eat for dinner? I mean, we know he has milk and cookies all the time, but does he like steak?
Yes, absolutely. He is not a picky eater at all. He loves steak. He loves everything. I try to make sure that he has some vegetables too, always mixed in there. But
Good.
yes,
Good.
absolutely. He is not picky. So that is a huge blessing because some of those elves are very picky.
Oh,
Well,
I bet.
cranky. Yeah.
Do elves really eat candy corn? Because I think they do.
Yeah. Some of them do. Our elf, we have lots of different elves and they all have different preferences on things just like we do. So
I love it. I love it. Yeah. Sometimes I'll be like on a date, I'll answer my phone, Buddy the Elf, what's your favorite color? I should say Nadine the Elf, what's your favorite color? And then I'll be goofy, at restaurants and be, I need
that's
spaghetti, no
okay.
sauce, just bring me syrup and candy corns. And they look at me, I'm like, I'm just kidding. If we're at Olive Garden, I want your raviolis. So the thing is about having fun in life and enjoying
Yes.
every moment. And when you have great energy and you're, excuse me, positive about things in life, things go very
Yes.
good and go very far. And you're a bright energy. And I can see that you have passion and love for what you do. So please share with us how can they book you?
Well, I mean, of course, the obvious way would be Party Time Texas is
That's
just,
one.
yes, number one. I would go through them because they are fabulous people and I have wonderful events through them. If you want to look at the different types of things I do, my website is The Spirited because I have a lot of Christmas spirit. The Spirited Mrs. Claus
Oh,
.com, and that's on there. And of course, they can send you that information if you were reached out to Party Time
yeah.
Texas. And also, I'm on Facebook, so I put pictures of me going down the slide and having the best day of my life. But
Oh.
anyway, those are the places that you can find me.
Oh my goodness. And then of course through Keep Hope Alive podcast.com, you can find more information with our video now. I think it's funny because the first season I only did audio. I did not want to have any video, but I got over my fear this year. So I'm just
Good.
like, I need to do this and it's fun and it's green screen. And I don't care if there's bloopers on my show. There's always going to be a blooper somewhere, but it's just about
Absolutely.
bringing that education and I always say love and light to the world and helping them out. So, but
Yes.
yeah, we're on all where you can find your podcast right now. I'm going to just say I'm waiting on Apple. Hurry up, Apple. I need your help or something because it's just not going through, but everywhere else right now, it is going through. So, that and then Facebook, Keep Hope Alive and Party Time Texas podcast. You can go on there. The phone number once again is 833-780-HOPE. And you can leave us a message and we'll address any questions that you have for Mrs. Claus. And if there's enough questions, we're gonna have her come back on and answer some of those. Or she can call in and leave us a big message and I'll relay all the answers to y'all. But this is an important time. It's only October 1st, right? Today. This is a good time to start, talking Christmas.
Absolutely, year-round kindness and all of those things are just so important to talk about. But yes, we are thinking Christmas already.
It's so weird because I guess say weird, and I'm talking about my brother. When I have my family outings, we'll get done Christmas dinner and he always makes a comment right before I leave to the whole family. Don't worry, Nadine has it all planned for next Thanksgiving and Christmas. We all know what we're doing. I go, yeah, I better be that way. I mean, come on. I'm a planner. This is what I do. But,
Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with being a planner. The world, it takes all types, right? So
yes, yes. And now I saw a video on TikTok because I can't sleep that well at night. But
yeah.
this lady, I know there's a ton of recipes out there for Christmas, but this lady, she did candy corn fudge. And I
Mm.
was looking at it going, okay, no, I can't eat that. I don't want to eat that. And then I went back and I found her video again. I'm like, okay, send to my email. I may make it. She said it tastes like Butterfinger. And I'm like, yeah, that sounds pretty good.
You need to share that recipe with Mrs.
Yes,
Claus.
I'll forward it to you. Yes. So as we go through these holidays, all the different foods, and everybody's going to have that special kind of meal that they're going to be eating, for Thanksgiving. And I don't want to forget other holidays. I know they're out there too. So
Yes.
everybody has a tradition and everything. So but with everybody, I started to talk about Bryce, but you can find brycemagic.com and find his, where he's going to be at and stuff. So, but other than that, Miss Claus, thank you so much for being on our show today. We're so happy to have you. And yeah, just I know this is a busy season for you. And if you would like Miss Claus, I can't talk Claus, you can go to partytimetexas.com and we'd be happy to get her all scheduled for your event and everything.
Thank you so much for having me, Nadine. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. So, okay, well, guys, until our next adventure for show, it will be, I'm trying to do 2 on Sundays now, so we can give you that wide variety. If you have any comments or suggestions, let me know. We would love to hear from you. So other than that, I hope you have a great week and enjoy. Bye-bye.